Hello and welcome to my channel. Today's day off is all about aquariums, and this has been a hobby I've really enjoyed for quite some time, and I wanted to share all the things that I've done in the aquarium hobby to get to this point, and just kind of show you some of the tanks that I have. So behind me is my 150 gallon Angelfish and community tank. Now, for the most part, like I said, you can see the angels behind me. These are very, very happy fish to have. They will follow your finger if you put it up here to the glass and they see you. They will follow you around. They have a really big personality. So the other thing you can see up here is these bright orange fish that are kind of floating around. These are little squishy mollies is what they're called. And I love these little fish. They are hilarious. They're literally like this big and they're all squishy looking. And they have a ton of personality also. Also in this tank is a Cory catfish. There's two of them in here. There's a spotted one, and then there's the normal Cory that's kind of like a rainbow color. I don't know all the fish names like perfectly. I've just really enjoyed being an aquarist on the side. And the other thing you'll notice about this 150 gallon tank is there's all living plants in it. And I will tell you, if you're trying to do aquariums, if you can, do live plants. They make your life so much easier. Now, we're going to move over to another tank here in just a second that does not have live plants, and I'll explain to you why it does not. So over here, this is the 125 long African cichlid tank. Now, they're all going to be hiding for a second because I'm up here waving my hands. These guys are a little more skittish than the other tank. And I don't know why, but they always have. Now, if I'm in here with the lights off, just hanging out, they swim around like crazy. But yeah, these are my African cichlids. I want to say there's probably 40 to 50 fish in here, which is pretty good for a cichlid tank. I have to do a water change about every 2 weeks on this tank. And that's because, as you can see, there are no plants in this tank. And the reason for that is these guys absolutely destroy any plant I put in here. There's a couple little anubiuses in here and they look terrible, and I should have just not done them. Now, what I'll show you down below, I have a 75 gallon sump system on this tank. And this has a light that runs 24 hours a day, and I have duckweed in there. And that duckweed helps a lot on keeping my water parameters nice. But for the most part on this tank, water change every 2 weeks. That's all the maintenance on it. There's not a lot to this if you set these tanks up right, is what I'm trying to tell you. So now that you've seen a few of my tanks, what I want to just tell you is if you haven't experienced the aquarium hobby, I highly recommend it. This is one of the most rewarding hobbies. I've been doing this for around 3 years now. Kind of went crazy. What I will also tell you, to do this cheaper, get a used tank. You don't have to go out and buy a brand new one. I bought that 150 gallon tank right there, this humongous tank for $100 on Facebook Marketplace. But moving it was a nightmare. That glass is about that thick, and that thing right there weighs probably 500 pounds. So it took 3 of us big dudes to get this thing in the house and moved over here into this corner. And it will probably go with this house whenever we leave because I never want to move it again. Now, if you go with the standard, rectangle 125, these aren't too bad to do with just 2 people. Moving them around, the tank separates from it. I got this tank for $75 on Facebook Marketplace, and it was leaking just a little bit. Now, what I do is I just reseal these tanks. That tank had a leak. That tank had a leak. I resealed both of them, and they're over 1.5 years on now with no leaks and no problems. So do with that as you wish. Some people don't like to do it. I would tell you, don't reseal a tank if it's been sitting outside for forever and it looks just terrible. But most of these, I scraped off all the silicone. I cleaned everything really well before I re-siliconed, and then I did it. Now, what I will tell you, because this is a common mistake I see people do when they want to reseal a tank, you cannot just patch this. If you have a leak, it's that, in a spot this big, and it's leaking out of there, a lot of people want to just squirt silicone over that. You cannot do that. You must cut all the silicone out of this tank and start completely over from scratch. That is the only way that it's not going to leak again. And even that, sometimes it doesn't. But if you get these tanks as cheap as I've been getting them off of Marketplace, it doesn't matter. It's willing to make the risk. If it doesn't work out, I've got $100 in the tank. By the time I bought silicone and spent all the time, I can just throw it away if it doesn't work out. But I have yet to have one that has not worked. Well, guys, if you're interested in aquarium stuff, I can always make more videos on this. This is a brand new YouTube channel that I'm kind of just doing whatever I feel like making at the time. And today's was aquarium. So if you enjoyed this, hey, hit the subscribe button. Brand new channel. I'm trying to grow it out. And I really like it. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. And until the next time, it's been my day off in Florida. Have a good day off yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.